Hi, I'm Dilip Da Gama. I'm an HR specialist and focus on the SME segment. Basically, we look at taking small, medium businesses and transforming them into professional organizations or networks. But we try and hold that personal touch. The core is in first understanding job function, job role, responsibility, accountability, being able to define and for people to understand that. Second is being able to understand in terms of HR is the compensation benefits and what are the motivational areas that one can look at. And the third is actual performance management, where one would look at what is happening in the organization day to day and how do we either solve problems, how do we remove roadblocks, how can we ensure that they are collaborating in order to ultimately reach their goals and their targets. Well, as an HR professional, my role here is to get the right people, the right culture, and the right systems. Because those three will combine and transform a homeowner's experience. Because if we do that right, people will understand our core ethics, our values, and our integrity. The intrinsic culture that we want to impart in what is the core of Mohidin's is trust, truth, transparency, and integrity. In every dealing that we have with the customer, we try and train employees to understand that those are three fundamental principles that we follow. Without the trust, they would not buy from us. Without transparency, we need to be able to make the complex processes simple for them to understand. And integrity is something that is essential because ultimately that is what people will relate to. So fundamentally, that is what the culture is built on. The key now is to be able to ensure that everyone understands that, and we can align all dealings, all areas, all departments with that same culture. And for us, we're trying to build an organization which is founded on these three principles. So basically, what we want to look at is not really a checklist of things that they can do, but more look at their emotional intelligence, their ability to connect, their ability to understand people. Not only understand what they're saying, but understand what they are really looking for. So it's a lot of a touch and feel situation, but it's important that people understand and are able to read people. That's what we really look for. Just having someone who tries to sell is not, because for us, we're looking at people to build relationships. For the customer to trust is very, very important. And that is the key to what we need to look for and what we build our sales staff on. Beyond that, we try to ensure that they are trained in the right way. We simulate conversations, we understand, we try and show them keys that they would be able to find the right people and understand their needs. That's the basic sort of area that we're looking at. The key is to first be able to build a rapport with customers. The key is more in ascertaining and understanding the customer's needs and not selling. At the end of the day, people are entrusting you with their dreams. So you've got to be able to understand what they're looking for. See, a lot of this is in the training comes in practice. So a lot of internal simulations of understanding, roundtable discussions of customers' experiences. That's how we build a team that would be able to understand that emotional portion. We're not dealing with corporates and numbers. It's purely dealing with customers and how they feel because they're spending a large amount of money. So it's dealing with customers and understanding what they want and how they feel, and it's ultimately building trust. So trust and integrity are hallmarks of what we need to look for. The fundamental key here is that whether you're in engineering or whether you're in the sales team or you're in the administration or legal, it's kind of a relay race because the customer is handed over from one to the other. So it's important that everyone is working at the same goal, understands the same customer value and customer priority, and that what we do matters. The key is getting everyone to understand that. So in that, the organization is moving in a way where we can align everyone's job descriptions, roles, functions, and even their performance with regard to that one specific goal of ensuring that the customer is satisfied and is happy at the end of the day. Because with trust, the problem is it's very easily to be broken, but very hard to keep building it. So it has to be throughout the chain of employees that we maintain that trust. Dealing with Aves, he's always very focused, he's very clear in his thinking, and he wants to be able to transmit and ensure that that message is spread not only to the employees but also to the customers. And the integrity and the trust factors is something that you get immediately talking to him, which is something you don't get with a lot of builders around. There's something you can trust, and I think that is the foundation of what he's building on, and that I think that comes from him as a person. So I think it's a wonderful from a leadership point of view. It's something that there's no compromise. The other leadership team also is very, very committed to delivering on that product. They work very hard to ensure that all areas, all aspects are covered. And from that, we are able to, the goal now is to be able to transform that to the rest of the team and be able to ensure that they imbibe those values and we embed those values in the organization and in every project that we take on. It was driving it quite significantly, but the issue comes when you're growing. You don't get to spend as much time with others. So we now need to ensure that that culture filters down and people understand that. As you grow, that's going to become more difficult. So my role is to ensure that people understand that culture and collaborate within a aspect of trust and truth and understanding when we operate. So with that, I think we are able to, the top management is able to understand that concept from our base, but going down, we now need to build the departments and build the areas and build people and trust so that it becomes a bedrock or the fundamental basis of the organization. The idea is primarily in sharing information and sharing issues that have happened, sharing cultures, sharing sales stories. People will get to understand how the company operates, the basis on which they operate, because each one knows their individual relationship and their individual department. But it's important that the sharing happens. And the HR's role is basically to ensure that the teams collaborate with each other, they work with each other to solve problems and remove the basic petty discussion issues or politics that tend to happen in organizations. So the idea is to build a sense of collaboration, to build a sense of working together for a greater goal. And kind of that's what we're doing earlier, is that as I said earlier, we're trying to ensure everyone's goal is focused on the same issues. The departments may be different, their jobs will be different, but their ultimate goal is the same. And that way we are pulling together. I think that's the key essence. All different aspects of HR, whether you're into recruitment, you're into a generalist HR, you're into payroll, all give you a fundamental basis of the core job. But I think the key is in understanding the relationship between the job and the person, and having that link, being able to, for people to understand how they contribute, not only for the personal but for their employees, is how is their role contributing to the growth of the company. You can take a simple accountant, they can ask, what am I doing? I'm just punching in numbers. But it's more than that. The key here is people have to understand that everyone's goals and everyone's what they are working towards enables the company to grow. So that is, at the end of the day, HR, while you say yes, you're a business partner, the key is getting people to understand that they are contributors to the overall company. And without that, the company would not be able to grow.